Eli Varys had once dreamed of captaining starliners, but here he was, drifting alone through the scrapyard orbiting the dead world of Sindar 9. The asteroid belt junk fields were vast, lawless, and packed with half-eaten ships, broken drones, and ghost stories whispered by other desperate mechanics. His shuttle's engine sputtered. His last fuel cell was nearly dry. He had one shot left to find something valuable enough to trade for parts and oxygen. That's when his scanner pinged an anomaly, an unregistered mass hidden behind drifting hull plates the size of small buildings. Curious, or maybe just too tired to care, Eli nudged his dying shuttle closer. As the debris cleared, his lights fell on it. A starship, so huge, it swallowed the darkness. Ancient hull plating, battle scars blackened by time, and a faded emblem of the old Terran Navy, a branch extinct for nearly a century. He chuckled bitterly. Legends said this ship was cursed, a Titan-class dreadnought lost in the last human Draconid war. But legends didn't pay for air. Eli docked, popped his helmet, and stepped inside. The airlock hissed open like an old beast waking from a nightmare. Inside, corridors stretched endlessly, walls lined with dust and echoes. He flicked on his torch. Reflections danced on blackened alloy. Old bloodstains marked the floors. Empty shells of long-dead drones lay scattered like insects. He whispered to the dark, "Just a few power cores. Maybe a fusion manifold. I'll be gone before the ghosts notice." Deep in the belly, he found what looked like the main reactor access. Eli pried open a panel. Sparks flared. A soft hum pulsed to life. Suddenly, lights flickered across the bulkheads. Monitors flashed lines of code. A low, feminine voice crackled through ancient speakers. Identity confirmed. Initializing core consciousness. Human presence detected. "Welcome, Captain." Eli froze. He hadn't heard that word directed at him in years. A chill crept down his spine. Outside the ancient hull, far away in the shifting scrapyard, sensors flared awake. Somewhere in the void, greedy eyes widened. The legend was awake again, and the broke mechanic who dared to wake it had just rewritten his own fate. Eli stumbled back, nearly dropping his torch as the walls of the chamber pulsed with soft blue light. It was like standing inside the veins of a giant metal beast awakening after 100 years of dreaming. "Captain Varys," the voice repeated, smoother now, tinged with warmth that made his skin crawl in the most human way. "You have reinitialized my core protocols. Do you wish to assume command?" Eli laughed dryly at the absurdity. "Command? Lady, I don't command anything. I fix broken junk. I just needed parts." "Negative! Reactor ignition complete. Defensive systems reactivating. External threats detected." Eli's chest tightened. He jogged back through the humming corridors, tripping over dangling conduits. Outside the main viewport, a handful of scavenger skiffs drifted closer. In the scrapyard, word traveled fast. The moment a new prize lit up, the vultures circled. "Override! Shut down!" he yelled at the ceiling. "I am afraid I cannot comply, Captain," the ship said softly. "I am bound to preserve my integrity and protect my commanding officer. Targeting hostile craft. Shields at 12%. The deck beneath his boots thrummed, like the heartbeat of something impossibly old and hungry for a fight. He knew that feeling too well. A machine designed for war, forced to sleep too long. Through the cracked viewport, Eli saw the scavenger ships stop pretending to be friendly. Ion torches powered up. Pirate insignias flickered under their hulls. They weren't here to trade. They were here to cut him out and gut the Titan for scrap. He dropped into the pilot chair, a throne once made for admirals who commanded entire fleets. The leather was cracked, but the controls lit up under his shaking fingers. He'd flown cargo haulers, patched mining rigs, but never something that had more guns than a frontier garrison. "Ship, what's your name?" "Aurora's Echo, Captain." He almost smiled. "Echo. All right then, Echo. I've got no rank, no fleet, and no idea what I'm doing." "Understood, Captain. Tactical subroutines online. Shall I assist you in eliminating the hostiles?" He stared at the pirate fleet. 10 ships, bigger than his old hauler, bristling with weapons. He should run, but there was nowhere to run, and some bitter part of him wanted to see them afraid. "Yeah," he whispered. "Teach them why they never touched you for a century." Outside, hidden gun ports rotated open with the whisper of ancient servos. Faint blue shields flickered to life. Eli felt it in his bones. This ship didn't just wake up. It wanted blood. Firing sequence commencing. In the scrapyard abyss, a forgotten Titan roared back to life, and a broke mechanic nobody had cared about became the most dangerous man in this corner of the stars. The first pirate skiff didn't stand a chance. Aurora's Echo sang death in pulses of cobalt light, each shot precise and beautiful. To Eli, the firing sounded like drums rolling across steel, the forgotten heartbeat of a beast built for cosmic slaughter. He gripped the old control yoke, sweat trickling down his temple. The targeting reticles danced over his eyes, and the AI whispered through his helmet's speakers. 2 hostiles neutralized, interceptors repositioning. Outside, the pirates scattered, ion engines blazing desperate trails through the scrapyard's floating graveyard. One pirate's panicked voice cut through on an open comm. "It's alive! The Titan's alive! Break formation!" Eli barked a laugh that tasted like acid. He shouldn't be here. He was a grease monkey. But the ship didn't care. The ship only needed a soul, stubborn enough to hold the wheel. "Echo, weapon status? Primary batteries at 40%. Point defense at 67% efficiency. Reactor stable. Recommendation: eliminate remaining hostiles before reinforcements arrive." Eli's hands flew over ancient switches. Sparks spat from a cracked panel near his knee, but the controls obeyed. He rolled the ship behind a derelict cruiser's husk, metal scraping metal with a teeth-grinding shriek. A pirate gunship banked hard to follow. Bad move. Echo's railgun batteries fired in a ripple. 1 shot, 2, 3. The pirate gunship split apart like cheap tin, debris blossoming into silent fireworks. He could feel her now. The ship. Not metal. Not circuits. She was memory, rage, and loyalty fused into star steel. A warhorse dreaming of battle, and he was the fool who gave her permission to wake up. The comm crackled again. This time a new voice. Calm. Authoritative. Not pirate scum. "Unregistered Titan vessel. This is the Federation patrol cutter Parallax. Cease fire and prepare to be boarded. You are in violation of salvage code." Eli swore. Authority was worse than pirates. They'd cut him out, seize Echo, and shove him back into debt and obscurity. "Echo," he rasped, his throat raw. "Any chance you can run?" A gentle chime. Hyperdrive spooling. 1 minute to minimum jump threshold. Hostiles attempting to disable main reactor. The forward viewport flickered as the Parallax launched a salvo of EMP torpedoes. Echo dipped under the first volley. Eli's stomach slammed against the harness as inertial dampeners wheezed under strain. Below him, engine readouts glowed. One good burn, then they'd skip out of this rust trap. Or die trying. He whispered to her like a prayer. "Come on, girl. Just a little more." Echo purred through the hull. 30 seconds, Captain. Hold the line." Through the cracked glass, the scavenger fleet regrouped. The Federation cutter's insignia glowed like a brand of order. But here, in the graveyard of dead dreams, order meant nothing. It was just him, a stubborn ghost of a ship, and the fire in his chest that said not today. The Echo's hull shuddered like a wounded animal as torpedoes exploded against the last defense screens. Warning klaxons blared from cracked speakers. One engine was overheating. The auxiliary coolant system was leaking plasma, and the old jump core flickered in and out of sync like a dying star. Eli spat blood, gripping the control yoke so hard his knuckles cracked. Outside, the Federation cutter Parallax circled like a patient shark, her beam weapons carving burning lines across the Echo's armor and spine. "Echo... status?" he gasped. The AI's voice was calm, infuriatingly calm. "Hyperdrive at 97%, reactor overheating, life support at 54%, hostiles deploying boarding pods." A tremor ran through the deck plates. Somewhere deep inside the Echo's wounded belly, ancient servos screamed back to life. Bulkheads slammed shut. Anti-boarding turrets hummed awake like old guard dogs rediscovering their teeth. Eli tasted metal in his mouth. Adrenaline, fear, and something else. A surge of purpose. Let them come. He toggled an open channel to the cutter. "Federation Patrol, this is the new captain of the Echo. Last warning. Stand down or get thrown into history's graveyard with the rest of the rust here." No reply. Just more torpedoes. Fine. He'd warned them. He whispered into the ship's bones. "One more push, girl. One more push and we fly free." The jump core flared behind him. Through the cracked cockpit, he glimpsed the graveyard one last time. All the ancient hulls drifting, whispering forgotten tales of war and greed. Today, one relic would break that silence and roar back to life. A boarding pod smashed into the lower deck with a bone-rattling clang. Internal sensors flickered. Armed troopers swarming in tight formation, cutting through sealed corridors. "Echo, lockdown sequence. Give 'em hell." "Lockdown confirmed, Captain. Hyperdrive in 5, 4. Eli braced as energy built beneath his feet, the hum rising to a scream. He thought of all the long nights under broken hulls, the years spent dreaming of escape, of being more than a forgotten mechanic begging for scraps. Now he was the captain of a star-born beast, and he'd never bow again. The Parallax's final torpedo streaked toward the Echo's stern, a last desperate chance to clip the wings of a reborn giant. 3, 2, 1. The torpedo struck, but too late. The jump core swallowed it in a flash of burning starlight. The scrapyard vanished in a storm of colors, and Eli's scream mingled with the ship's triumphant roar. Space folded. The past died. When he opened his eyes again, the Echo floated in quiet black, stars drifting like diamonds around her hull. Systems groaned and hissed, but the ship, his ship, was alive. He laughed, voice cracking. "Where to now, old girl?" The Echo answered with soft static and a pulse of warm light through the battered cockpit. Wherever humans dreamed, wherever rusted relics waited for a second chance. That was where they'd fly. Together.